It is your responsibility to create a conscious relationship with your level of consumption of all things, of social media, of food, of alcohol, of substances. But when you put this down and you look up and you are where you are, especially in public with people, you have the opportunity to connect with others. And your life will divinely orchestrate exactly as it's meant to. You are the one, you have the power to create your entire life, like words or spells, abracadabra, because everything you say is a spell and a creation of your reality. This is a virtual reality. You create what happens in the world based on your thoughts, feelings, word creates the world around you. Because I think in order for you to be the most powerful you need to understand you. You're not going to find true understanding of yourself through these devices. Hello, you guys. Welcome to this week's episode of the Expanded Evolved podcast. I'm so excited because I'm going to do a little quick solo cast. Who knows how quick it will really be. But I wanted to come on and just give a little bit of an update from my life this last week, going to awaken, some of the things that I experienced, some of the things that I felt, some of the things that I feel I'm moving through. And as I was just looking through my notes, this is what is so funny. My notes from my last breath work, some of the things that it said, I'm going to read some of these and I promise I have some things to share. But some of the things that I wrote down, okay, was the key is embodiment. You're able to get and receive knowledge and know, but can you embody? So as you listen to things, and even as you listen to my podcast or you listen to people on the internet in the future, you can hear all this information and that's great. But can you start to embody the knowledge that you're hearing? I just want to throw that in there. Okay. In addition to that, you create the space in your vessel to expand, and God's able to pour more love and blessings when you create that space. All right. So like when you're breathing really deeply, for example, in a breathwork session, you're expanding your body. That's creating space. I just did a podcast right before this with Mina from Momentum Feng Shui. So it's so fitting that these are some of my notes from literally not even a week ago to what we spoke about today and how it's all interconnected. And this is the whole premise of this entire podcast that I'm going to share with you guys, is how divinely orchestrated every single thing is. So those thoughts that I got and those downloads in my breathwork, right? You're not always going to understand what they mean, but it will make sense eventually. So this is a week ago, okay? I write, you create the space in your vessel to expand. God is able to pour more love and blessings into you when you create that space. Okay, cool. She literally just spoke about how creating space, energy occupies 100% space, 100% of the space all of the time. So let's say I have a bedroom and it's full of energy, regardless if it's good energy, bad energy, positive, negative, anger, whatever energy is being held onto. If it's stuck, if it's stagnant, 100% of the space is going to be occupied at all times. So what type of energy is occupying that space? Same thing with what's happening in your body. That's why it's so important to do like releasing intentions and releasing exercises and crying or feeling emotions or doing something like breath work or journaling or movement, shaking it out of your body, doing I don't know if I always get confused with the moon. Is it a full moon ritual? I don't know. Where on the new moon or full moon, whatever one you're supposed to release intentions or release and let go, to do things like that. Because if you're still holding on, that's what's occupying your space rather than creating the space to have more love, blessings, and all the things flow through. So this relates because if you guys listen, I'm going to upload that one first before I upload this one. So if you listen to that podcast and then now you're listening to this one, in that podcast, she talks about how even in a closet, for example, if it's occupied with old stuff, you're basically saying I don't need anything else. But when you release everything you no longer need or no longer that doesn't serve you, it creates the space for God, universe, whoever you believe in, to be like, oh, she's, clearing space. Awesome. Time to give her more blessings, time to create more space for her. Does this make sense? So it's like, how funny that this literally came through in my breathwork. And then we end up having a podcast about this a week later. And now I'm telling you guys. Anyways, okay. I don't know what this was meaning, but it's funny because she literally made me do this at the end of the meditation to put my hands here. But I had written down that my healing hands are a representation of the healing power you carry. Okay. So understanding, oh my God, I love life so much. This is so funny. So understanding, this is the download that came through. Oh, this is so crazy, you guys. So I wrote, my healing hands are here as a representation of the healing power that you carry. Do you know what happened yesterday at my bioenergetics appointment? Which, by the way, this is another divine connection that I met her. I could feel this woman and me were meant to connect. It was at an event and I could feel we were meant to connect. And so I ended up saying, hi, like, who are you? Da-da-da. She starts talking. She ends up sharing with me about her energy work, which sometimes people feel funny talking about in a big open space because some people think it's weird and woo-woo, whatever. She knew I was a safe space. So she starts telling me. And as she's telling me about this energy work, I'm like, wait, I've never heard of bioenergetics. Like, I'm so curious. What's her contact? I'd love to meet her. I could feel there was something there. I needed to go meet this woman. Okay. So I've gone to 3 sessions now. She basically works with energy, and it has to do with like your electrical wiring in your body and balancing that out and all the things. And yesterday, she's so beautiful, by the way. She gave me like a face massage and it was so sweet. Interesting. Both people have done this. Okay. There's something there. Anyways, she gave me a face massage yesterday and was just like, you need this. You need to be nurtured and cared. And I'm going to get into that because this is like a key piece also, which also relates to the freaking breath work, because nothing is by accident and everything is perfect and everything's always building on each other. But she was talking to me about our healing hands and the power of our healing hands. And if you know anything about Jesus, he used to perform miracles. How? Through his healing hands. He was not just God in the flesh, and then we're all these minions that have no power. No, he was showing you, because he came in a human body to show you your capacity and your capabilities as a human being. Okay? That's what it meant when he had healing powers in his hands. He was trying to let y'all know that you all embody and have this too, if you tap into it and you accept it into your life. Anyways, healing hands, okay? We have power in our hands. She told me yesterday, she said, man, this is so why, like, oh, I wish everyone could understand this because it's so crazy. But like divinity, God, everything is one, the power of one, oneness, unity, like you're God, I'm God, everyone's a mirror. All of these sayings, like when Jesus was like, I am that I am, all of us are God too. We're just so freaking disconnected, we forget. But all of these downloads, you guys, all connect. And this is where it's so divinely perfect and orchestrated, because I write this down and then what happens? An experience, the perfect person, the God messages come through, whoever they're meant to come through a vessel, because we're all just vessels for light and love. Okay. Oh, can you see how excited I am? I can't even complete a thought because I'm literally realizing it as I reread this, how insane this is. So yesterday she's talking to me. She hasn't said this to me before. This is now session number 3. She goes, you know your hands are healing, right? And I said, I do. And she said, if you just put right hand and then left hand on top near, let's say someone's bleeding, you can stop the bleeding. She said, let's say your child has a splinter. Put left hand down and then right hand on top. She said the splinter will exit the body. And I went, yeah. You're right. Like I was not so conscious to the fact that I had literally wrote this down, and she was the perfect God sent messenger to reiterate that I had just said the power of our healing hands. And I have been feeling this lately where I had a pain in my thumb, and she said, just start holding it. Just hold it with your hands. And I went, okay, just hold it with my hands. This is weeks ago, by the way. And the reason that's so funny is because it's like we forget that we are that powerful. We literally have healing capacity within our own hands to heal our own body, to heal our children, to heal the people we love through the love and energy we can send through our hands with intention. And she also said when you're choking, you can put your 2 hands in your thighs and lean forward, and it can help you stop choking. I obviously have not practiced that to validate if that is true or not, but I bet with intention you could. Anyways, how wild is that? So like I write that down, and then what happens? I have the perfect person enter my life to show me and remind me the power of my healing hands. So I know this is coming into my awareness for a reason. It's something I'm meant to practice. This doesn't mean it's for you. So this piece may not relate to you. That's okay. In addition to that, I know Peru has come up about 10,000 times. So I meant to go to Peru, and I think I meant to go alone. So I'm sure someone will end up like coming, but I think I meant to book it alone. Whoever, I'll wait till that hits me and then I book it. Okay. In addition to that, okay, this is the next funny one. And this goes back to my bioenergetics appointment yesterday. So in this appointment, she works with energy. She works with your electrical system. She works with like electromagnetic frequencies. She works with all these different things. And there's also a ladybug here, and I feel the need to share it. So for one of you, there's a sign that you're supposed to look up what a ladybug means for your life. I don't know. I know it's not for me. I was supposed to say it on here. Okay. So yesterday in the appointment, she also does psychological stuff where she will say a word because words have power. Abracadabra, for real, they're spells. They cast spells based on how you speak and what you say. And what she said was, demanding my needs are met. And then I have to just sit with that and repeat it and repeat it and repeat it and see what starts to happen within my body. And what is so funny is some of the things that came out of my mouth. This is where so much of our thoughts are completely unconscious. They're in our subconscious mind. We're not even consciously aware. I have it written down in this book. I forgot I even wrote this down. I asked for healing and shared that sometimes I feel alone and like I can't lean on anyone. That's what I wrote in this book last week. What came through yesterday when she said demanding my needs are met was I felt this feeling of like, whoa, if I was to demand my needs are met, who am I even demanding that to? Like, who could meet my needs? Like, what even are my needs? If I had to think of someone I was demanding my needs be met by, who would I even demand they get met by? Because like, I don't know if there's anyone I could demand my needs get met by anyone. Like, I only have me to rely on. And that was interesting too, because it was like, okay, if you really sit with that, does it pull you into this feeling of aloneness or like you can't rely on anyone? And what does that do to my body? What am I feeling? What is that creating inside my body that belief exists within my mind? Does this make sense? Because so many of our unconscious thoughts are running our life and we're not aware of it. And so I felt that within my stomach where I felt like, whoa, and then I almost felt weird and like, how do I even express that or ask for it? And it made me realize like, dang, I have a thing about asking for my needs to be met. And what it reminded me of, because I've been feeling this a lot lately, is I have this pattern of enduring. And I want to talk about this because I think as women, and I wrote a big thing about this in my phone the other day, that we have such a big capacity to care for others that we can forget about ourselves. And so in that, I've been going into this lately within myself of where did I learn to endure? Because if I look at almost, I could say every single relationship, there's a part of me that doesn't speak up for what I want, say what my real needs are. I didn't even know how to do this before, you guys. Like how could I ever ask for a need? I didn't even know what that was. And so asking your needs to be met, like, what does that even mean? Like, what even are your needs? Do you even know? Because when I was sitting with this thought, I was like, I kind of know, but like, do I really know? And thinking about how I endure mistreatment. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be little micro things that hurt my feelings or don't make me feel very good. Or you can tell are like icky, not nice things people are doing. And so the pattern of enduring. And as I sat with this, I was like, okay, I do this a lot. Like I've done this in a lot of relationships, friendships, different places where I can literally shut down like my own needs and what I need from anyone and endure behavior to take care of the other person. And I think that this is, I was kind of trying to sit with it and I was like, where does this probably come from? Probably something from childhood where I maybe asked for my need to be met in some way. It wasn't met, or I got faced with it being about the other person. And then I now overcompensate to make it about the other person all the time instead of me, is what I was kind of feeling. And not that I do this all the time. I'm really good now at like doing things for me and like taking care of my own needs, but this is still something that's just like there. And so as I was sitting with that, I went, okay, interesting how much as mothers, we give and give and give. And as women, we give and give and give. But like, you're never meant to give without receiving. It's equal energy exchange. So let's say you pay $100, you receive something back. Let's say you donate $10 because it's all you have. Your needs are meant to be taken care of first. So as mothers, this is just what I keep going back to, is we give so much to other people, sometimes never prioritizing or filling up ourselves. And how many women have gone through life like this? So when I was thinking about this, I was like, dang, how much did my mom endure? And then how much did my grandma endure? And then how many of us are not being nurtured, loved on, and cared for because our mothers or whoever, our caregivers, have nothing to give because they have endured and given and given and given without anyone pouring back into them. Like there's such a misalignment or mismatch in energy when we function like that. And something that she shared with me yesterday that was so valuable is she said, look, when a church asks you to tithe, let's say, she said they ask you to give 10% because they know you need 90% for you. She's like, think about it with your body. You should only be giving 10% of your energies to others, and 90% should be going to you. You're not meant to pour from an empty cup. You're not meant to overgive all of yourself to others and have nothing left to give to yourself. You need to give yourself the most of you. Does that make sense? Is this resonating? I hope it is. And I went, holy shit, 90% of our energy should go to us? Most of us, 90% is going to other and 10% is going to us. And that is so backwards. And so it's interesting because I've really, really been feeling this lately, this pull to go inward, have my phone on Do Not Disturb, literally keep it in another room so it doesn't take me out from me. Because my phone, I've really been feeling is this is a virtual reality. This is not real. What exists here doesn't exist now. And I've really been sitting with that of everything in front of me right now is peace. It's quiet. There's nothing I need to do. I'm here with you guys sharing, trying to articulate my thoughts, which I'm having a hard time doing. But this is where I am. Everything that exists here needs from me. It needs a response. It needs engagement. It needs attention. It needs energy. And I think what has been showing up for me is pulling back my power, because obviously so much of what I do is on my phone. So much of how my business is run, how I communicate with people, how I connect with people, so much of that is through this little device. And I'm so grateful for that. However, I think what's happening for me right now and why I feel this pullback from social media and why I feel this pullback from my phone and why I've been leaving it in another room or not answering phone calls or not replying to texts is because I feel this really deep sense of tuning into my own energy and my own presence. And when we're plugged into this, it isn't us. Does that make sense? It's really hard to truly feel your own field, your own energy, your own thoughts, your own emotions, your own feelings, and be with yourself when you're on this. So for example, if you were to start scrolling right now, you may see stuff that you're oh, I relate to that. And I feel that. And oh, funny. And oh, I can make that real. And I could do this. And no. It's so quick in how it brings our thoughts to different things, and not necessarily wrong, but bringing more intentionality back to what is our relationship with this virtual reality device that's in front of us 24/7 that we now rely on to connect and contact people. And the fact that we have established this assumption that we have access to everybody at all times. There's no boundaries. And I hate the word boundaries. I've always had an issue with it, but I think I'm finally coming around to understanding the value. And not doing it in a toddler way. I always say, the reason I had an issue with the word boundaries is because people would try to establish them, but they always did it like a toddler. No, I have a boundary and you can't cross it. And it's what? Bring it back to embodiment, where if it's a boundary within you, if it's an embodied boundary, you don't have to do that. I'm setting the tone and I'm going to do this and this is how it's going to go because I have a boundary. And it's okay. I think when you create it within yourself, it's unsaid, it's unspoken. You don't need to say it. It's just a boundary that exists within you that allows doesn't allow for any of that shit to enter. Make sense? So in terms of this virtual reality device, I don't know why I'm on this. I'm also having a lot of stuff happen where my head is filling with like pressure, and I don't think it's from sickness. Like I've had a lot of ear ringing. I'm having a lot of these things happen. And I think it's all coming from carving out so much time for me. Like I'm getting so in tune with, okay, when my ear rings, what was that? What's it related to? When my head feels pressure, what does that mean? Like I don't know what that one means yet. But it happened on the last podcast I was recording, and it's happening now. And so whether that means it's like pressure from above and there's something coming through and it's going to come through my mouth, I don't know. I don't have the answer yet. All I know is I'm bringing a lot of awareness to myself and what I feel, what I experience, and what's happening within me. Because I think in order for you to be the most powerful you need to understand you. You're not going to find true understanding of yourself through these devices. Is it helpful? Yes. Like if you're listening to something like this, my podcast where I share so openly all my thoughts, all my feelings, all my emotions as I'm moving through a process. Like right now, the reason I'm not 100% articulated in everything I'm sharing with you is because I'm in process of these exact things that I started this podcast with. Therefore, they haven't turned into a lesson I can like speak really powerfully to you guys. But I know I'm sharing it for a reason, and it'll all come around somehow. So in sharing that and like going through my process and sharing all of these things, it may bring awareness for some of you about things that you're moving through. And I find usually there's a few of you specifically who listen to my podcast and you're always like, holy shit, this is exactly what I'm moving through. And as soon as it goes live, you're feeling the exact same things. And so I know we're on a collective energy field, living through very similar curriculum and experience in this physical world. The way I see it is like, I'll never forget, I listened to this podcast once by Oprah, her Super Soul Sundays or whatever it was. And it talked about different soul levels, and you can be from 0 to 9. And if you're a 9-year, you're basically probably never going to reincarnate back on Earth. And this is way before I'd gone through all these journeys, but it has always stuck with me because what I'm feeling right now on this Earth plane, you could say, is we're all at different levels in our soul journey, and not a hierarchy of who's where and this is better. But like there's certain people, you could call them your soul family, who are kind of getting the same downloads, shifts, collective consciousness is what I like to call it. You're feeling the same energy. You're going through similar experiences. When you're down, you're all down. When you're up, you're all up. Like you're connected energetically, going through similar things. So for example, me feeling this really deep pullback from this device, I know for a fact there's a bunch of you feeling the same thing, where you're like, whoa, like I need to get in tune with myself and my energy to understand how this is impacting my life, because this is not real. Like it's real, but it's not real. It's a virtual reality that you get to cultivate and use for you. So when you pull back your own power, stop giving your power to this. So what I see happen a lot of the time, and I'm guilty of this is why I know, I will get sucked in and like an hour, 2 hours has gone by and it's filled my mind with all of these thoughts and things and a jumbled mess. But do I have clarity? Did it give me decision? Did it give me true knowledge? Do I feel more aligned and connected to myself? Do I feel like I'm in power? No. And like when I'm constantly responding, like that's reactive behavior. So do we need to carve out time for that? I run a business through this thing. I am so grateful. It's literally what has given me my entire real reality, right? Is this device. But what I'm saying is it's creating a healthy relationship with it. And I think if you're feeling that pullback right now, it's because you need to just bring a lot of awareness and conscious intention to how you are engaging with this thing and how you're using it. And so for myself, I can feel it. I felt this intense pullback where I needed to kind of be like, okay, hold on. What do I think? What do I feel? What's my relationship with social media? How am I using it? How am I consuming it? What is it doing to my thoughts? What's it doing to my energy field? What's it doing to my voice? Is it true? My intentions, my vision board, my goals for the year, is it really me? Or has it been programmed through subliminal messaging I'm not even aware I'm consuming? And this is where I've been feeling this pullback to be like, okay, when I'm in a moment where I feel like engaging and responding and being available to people, I'll go through my messages and be available to people. When I feel this need to like push it away and be with myself, I'm going to honor that. When I feel this urge and pull to post on social media, I'm going to do it. When I feel this need, like I want nothing to do with it, I don't want to look at who's engaging with anything. I don't want to allow that to consume my space or time. I don't want to be in my messages or consuming content. I'm not going to. And I'm sharing this because I think it's really important in order to cultivate a healthy relationship with yourself, your power, your voice, is to understand how much this is dictating that. So that was not what my intention was going to be, but I think it's really important, as someone phones me, for all of you to just really tune in and plug in to what is your relationship with it, and are you consciously consuming or unconsciously consuming? Because anything that's unconsciously consumed can cause harm. So the same way if you ate, let's say like 45 cookies, completely unconscious, you didn't even realize you did it, not going to feel very good. If you downed a whole bag of chips completely unconsciously, don't feel very good. If you drank 8 drinks and didn't even pay attention and now you're freaking feel like shit for 3 days because you're hungover and you're over 30, don't feel very good. If you overconsume TV, I'm back on TV, okay? I was off of it for a really long time. Didn't want it in my mind, didn't want it in my space. Just wanted to be with my own energy. I have found a new love and appreciation for a good series that's lighthearted. That being said, I'm so hyper aware of when I've overconsumed. Episode 2, 3, I can usually do. By that time, it starts to not feel good. So if I watch something that's like an hour episode, let's say, I could want to keep watching. I want to know what happens next. But now I'm over consuming. It's no longer beneficial for me because now, do you get what I'm saying? It's like you're leaning into this like unconscious consumption. So I'm sharing this because it's like you are the one, you have the power to create your entire life, like words or spells, abracadabra. Like I'm going to keep saying that until it's so drilled into your mind, because everything you say is a spell and a creation of your reality. This is a virtual reality. What's in front of you is a real reality. You create what happens in the world based on your thoughts, feelings, words, unconscious feelings that are existing within your body at all times. You're not even saying it, but you're saying it in your mind, and it creates what's happening in your body. What's happening if you're gaining weight, if you're not gaining weight, if you fall down the stairs or don't fall down the stairs. Like, I don't know. If you lose money, have money. Some of it can be from your actual action you're taking in the real world, and some of it can be completely whatever's happening inside, what you feel. And then it creates the world around you, which I'm going to get back to, because like what happened this weekend was crazy. And so in addition to that, I guess I just want to say it is your responsibility to create a conscious relationship with your level of consumption of all things, of social media, of food, of alcohol, of substances. I've seen people that are now like, oh my God, mushrooms and ayahuasca, this is amazing. And yes, but some people are completely unconsciously now consuming it to feel different. Again, just like how you can drink too much, I think you can do too many psychedelics and you're doing it from the wrong energy, and it needs to be conscious. A conscious choice with an intention is important. Like if I feel like eating chocolate, I'm choosing to eat the chocolate because I love it and I'm going to do it out of a place of joy. I've been really overdosing on mangoes lately, like those dried mangoes. I freaking love them. And I've been eating them at night, and it's been a little bit unconscious. Like I just want to keep eating them because they taste so good. That's an unconscious decision that I know my body's probably not loving that overdose of sugar at night. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not perfect. I'm just bringing awareness to the overconsumption of something unconsciously. So bring conscious awareness to everything you're doing. How you scroll on social media, how you respond to your alerts on your phone, how you consume TikTok, how you consume TV, what you're listening to in the car. Just anything that's overconsumption is never going to make you feel good. Drink too much water, you can get sick. Eat too many vegetables, you could get sick. Like the point is conscious consumption. If I had 85 fizz, I wouldn't feel very good, but 2 makes me feel great. Do you get it? Okay. So now that we're off of that, how our thoughts are creating our reality. What I want to mention first is we were in Florida this past weekend, and I'm bringing this back to the divinity of how everything is perfect, and your energetic body of what you believe, feel about yourself creates your external circumstances, realities, relationships, people you come across, all of the things. I was at, first of all, one of the girls who was there I've known her for a while. She wanted to become a consultant. She's been like in what I do. She's been praying for another option. She knows she wants to make more money. She was like, please God, give me a sign. Like bring something into my awareness that is meant for me. And she was feeling this, thinking it. And then I literally walk in and sit down beside her. And she was like, I had this feeling I was supposed to like become a consultant, but I was waiting for it to be like perfectly divinely orchestrated. And then you literally came down and sat beside me. So that's a God example. Okay. The next thing that happens, I start thinking about a woman I really wanted to talk to. And I'm like, I haven't seen her. Like, where the hell is she? I haven't ran into her. I haven't seen her. And she, all of a sudden I see her come through these doors and she's walking. I'm like, oh my God. And I get up and run after her. I don't do that. I don't get up and run after people. But I could feel this pull, like I needed to go grab her and stop her because otherwise I was going to miss the moment I was supposed to have to talk to her. And as I go to stop her, this man grabs her arm and she doesn't know him. And he goes, hey, hold on. And he's like introducing himself. And then I run up and he's like, wait, who are you? And I was like, I was just stopping to grab her, but then you stopped her and whatever. Now we're in this conversation. And I meet these guys who are like from Wall Street, basically financial people. He's developing a movie or creating this media company to, what is it called? A director directing a movie. Anyway. So he's directing this movie about this other guy who just wrote this book called Blind Greed. And they both had all of these issues with like, I don't know, they went to jail, but they weren't supposed to go to jail and whatever. All this stuff about money, I don't really know. I don't really understand. It's like totally not my world, stocks and all that stuff. Whatever. That's not my point. The point is I run into them. We were meant to make a connection with those people or else it wouldn't have happened. Like she wouldn't have been stopped. She wouldn't have come through there right at the same time as I want to run into her, that this guy stops her and now we're all connected as this big little cohort. Okay. That wouldn't have happened if it wasn't meant to. And why I think this happened is I run into them, then we're introduced as these other people. Then he invites us up to this mastermind that's only like 30 people. You never would have known it existed and that it's happening in the same hotel that we're staying in at the exact time that it's all happening. And what happens is we get invited up and he's like, please come up. I want you guys to listen to my speech. I want you to hear what I do, blah, 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 blah. So we get invited up to this thing and all of these people are like, I don't know, they've all exited companies at like 9 figures. They have made multiple $1 million with every company that they've launched. Some of them were billionaires based on their creations, okay? And we go up into this room and we get introduced to all these people. And the reason that I'm sharing this is because in the moment of him saying like, please come up, I want you to like hear my speech. It's starting now. He's texting me this and I'm sitting in the room going, but I meant to be here for this. And like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like then I'm just like walking into this room with these people I don't know, like, should I really go? Like, isn't it going to be like distracting? And I'm like feeling like this pull. And so I text my friend and I'm like, are you wanting to go to this? And she's like, yeah, let's go. And I'm like, okay, fine. Cause I needed like someone else to come with me. Right. So we walk up to this meeting and we're kind of feeling like, oh, I don't know about this. Like this feels so weird. It's this quiet room. It's a really small group. Like they're in the middle of their speech. Are we really going to come in? He's so inviting. He has us come sit down. We end up listening to his speech and we meet all these people. The reason I'm sharing this with you is because if you have not read the book Celestine Prophecy, please go read it. But when you put this down and you look up and you are where you are, especially in public with people, you have the opportunity to connect with others. And your life will divinely orchestrate exactly as it's meant to based on who you make eye contact with, who you run into, who you make a connection with. And I don't know the purpose of these connections yet, but I know it's for a reason. And so we go into this room, we made all these amazing connections. Some of them are like podcast people. Some of them are doctors. Some of them were like ex-hockey players, all of these different people. And I think what I noticed about this happening was when I walked into this room, there wasn't a single piece of me that felt like I didn't belong, that I wasn't successful enough to be there, that I didn't fit the same level as who these people were. And I think this is really important because me 7 years ago, I might have felt like, oh my God, like what place do I have in this room? Like why would they want me here? Like what value could I offer? Like, why would they want to know what I do? Blah, 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 blah. And now I'm like, no, I know that I've built an amazing business and I have value to offer just as much as they do. And I don't see a separation just because someone's made more money at all. I actually looked at all of these people and I was reading energy. I don't care that you have $1 billion. What do I feel from you? I don't care that you had this amazing, success story in business. What do I feel from you as a person? And that's what I leaned into and paid attention to, even in this room. And I feel like I'm sharing this because as I've gone through, I know that like the life I'm meant to live, and there's like this piece of me that fights every time I'm back home of going into this small shell of who I could be here and also branching out into who I could become when I'm away from home. And I really feel my power the most when I'm not here, like physically in the lower mainland. I work the best here though. I'm like a hermit. And so I'm really good at like getting stuff done. But I feel the most expansive version of me when I'm like somewhere warm or tropical or whatever. And this man, Ross Mandel is his name, he looked at me and he was like, I feel your energy. He's like, you have a powerful energy. He's like, I read energy on people. And he was like, you are powerful. He's like, you're hungry. You know you want more for your life. He's like, I can feel it from you from a million miles away. And he was like, you're meant for that. But wherever you live right now, I'm telling you, you need to get out. It's not where you're meant to live. I'm sharing this because I've felt this, and you guys have probably heard me talk about this, or anyone who knows me really well knows this. But again, that was a God message speaking through a person. It came through him like potent. He looked right at me and he was like, you've got to get yourself somewhere like South Florida. For the life that you are meant for, you can't have it where you're living. You need to get out. And I was like, I know. But then there's this calling of home, right? And like the people here and what I'm able to accomplish here and family and all of that kind of stuff. And so I guess I'm sharing this for a couple reasons. For one, divine synchronicities, there's never an accident. So the way that timing lined up, you guys, I was meant to meet exactly who I was meant to meet in that moment. I was meant to make those connections. And what's meant for you can never pass you by. And it's like in that moment, I was able to see how, even for me lately, I put on my vision board, right? That I want to be able to like fly private and do all these things because I just think it makes more sense for the amount I fly. And it's like, okay, if you want to do that, you need to get yourself in rooms and around people where that's the norm. You need to be around people who that's how they're living because you're the sum of the people you're around and who you hang out with. You need exposure to people who that's normal for them. And so what happens? A couple weeks after making this vision board that's like way more expansive for me, I run into all of these people who are living their lives like that. Is that an accident? No, it's perfect. I'm meant to feel and experience what that feels like so then I can consciously choose, is that a life I really want to live? Is this what I want to lean into? Is it not? Whatever. And in addition to that, not only like, okay, divine synchronicities and whatever, meeting the right people and connections. Again, Celestine Prophecy is the book. You've got to read it. Meeting these right people, but it helped expand even my vision and helped me understand, like me and Steph were both talking about this, like we're meant to be in rooms like that. Like we have to be around people like that. Like we've grown so much from who we were before we ever built businesses, from me who lived in a basement suite. Like I am not that girl anymore. And even though I can relate and I understand what it's like to build something from nothing and, you know, be the first person who's found that level of success in your family line and all the things, and like no one around you really is at that level of success, you have to go meet new people who are and be inspired by them. Like I want to meet people who helped expand my mind to go way beyond what I've created in the company that I'm currently with. Like there's no one left to really expand beyond what I'm at right now. So what happens? If I don't go find new people to inspire and expand my vision and my knowledge, I'm going to stay stuck and stagnant because there's nothing there to expand what I can see. Does that make sense? And so I really feel I was meant to run into these people for who knows what reason. Who knows if there's a connection there that ends up leading to something, or he wants me to call him so he can teach me about stocks. I've always been like, I don't understand. I just need someone to do it for me. And I'm like, maybe he's going to teach me something about money and how money I just have sitting in the bank doing nothing I could do something with, and he's going to teach me. I don't know. All I know is these connections were made on purpose. And so as we're about to leave this event, we're all chit-chatting after. And one of the guys, I could tell, like his eyes kept meeting mine, so I knew there was a connection meant to be had. And if you read Celestine Prophecy, it talks about this. If you make eye contact with someone more than twice, there's a message there that is meant to be had, or an experience or a connection needs to be made. And you've got to lean into that. And so he ends up talking. He starts talking about how he was in the church, but then had experience with plant medicine and it changed his life and it got him out of depression and blah, 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 blah. And he was like sharing so passionately about his experience. And I was like, this was a connection that was meant to happen. Because in a space like that, do you ever really, like when it's all professional people, sometimes you don't feel comfortable, I should say, to share those pieces of you. And it was like us three girls coming in there. He was like, you guys were like angels. You came in and there was a light about you that I felt like I could share this with you. And he shared his whole life story with me and a bunch of stuff. And it was just so beautiful how it happened. And him being from the church, his experience with plant medicine and understanding like that was the deepest connection he'd ever felt to God, and like just all of these beautiful synchronicities that happened. And even that, like understanding you can get so in your own head of how you feel that you don't realize the way you're perceived by others, and that like your light will exude from within. And so I guess I'm sharing this because from all this personal growth or like going to breath work or doing this work or like being able to self-reflect and look at myself and develop myself as a person, like people feel it from you. And so it was reminded to me so many times that weekend. He was like, no, you're like a light angel. He's like, I can feel it from you. Then the other guy was like, your energy is insane. Like I can feel your power. And I was like, oh, I'm getting it. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but for so much of my life, and this is like, I asked for this like 5 years ago or something like this. I don't even know. Maybe it was 10. I said, I don't want to be just seen for being pretty anymore. Like that was my whole childhood, really, like teenage years. It was like, oh, Carly, the hot one, or big boobs, or it was always about my physical body. It was always about the way I looked. It was about, oh, she has nice legs. Oh, she has big tits. Oh, she's so hot. Oh, she's so pretty, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sharing this because I remember saying, literally declaring, I don't even know, 5-10 years ago, must have been before kids. I don't know. I remember saying, I no longer want to be recognized for what I look like. I want to be recognized for something else. And in these moments, it's so funny because now I'm like, oh, it's happening, you know, where it's like, because it's an interesting thing. When you get a lot of compliments, like you're so beautiful, like external validation, when it goes, because ask and you shall receive. When it was taken away and I no longer get, you're so pretty, you're so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. At first it was like, am I ugly? I really had that thought. I don't know why I'm sharing this with you guys, but it's important. And then now I was like, these are the compliments that mean something. When someone says your presence is like an angel, when you walked into this space, the light that you brought into this room. I would way rather get that than like, you're so pretty. Okay. Like generic, you know? When he was like, I can feel your energy. It's the most powerful thing. I felt you from across the room, blah, 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 about energy. Amazing compliment. And I guess I'm sharing this because I guess to encourage you, like, it's so worth it to keep going on this journey. Some moments are freaking hard. Some moments suck. Some moments you feel like you're never going to get out of it. Some moments it feels like, what's the point? What are you doing this work for? What does it even mean? Why even care about energy or how you feel or doing personal growth or leaning in or expanding yourself or evolving your mindset or like what's the point? And you're going to have dark moments too where you feel like giving up and you feel like it means nothing and you feel like it's all useless. But I feel like this weekend was such a reiteration and reminder of the fact that it's all compounding on each other and you have to be patient. Because energetically, something can move within you like this, speed of light. But our physical body is bogged down by physical things and it can take time. So even though you have an awareness that enters your mind and energetically you may ask it to clear, it can take time for everything else to catch up in the physical world. And from however long ago that I asked for that it was like, I just want to stop being recognized for those things, those physical things that are not me. Like there is so much more to me than how I appear physically. Do you get what I'm saying? And so I guess I'm sharing that because if you feel that pull, you want to be recognized for who you are. Like I keep repeating, when I find a partner, I want soul recognition. I don't want, like, I've had people say like, oh, haven't you found someone yet? How have I not found someone yet? There's lots of people I could go build a relationship with. I don't want to. If I don't feel that like soul recognition where they're like, whoa, I see you from a soul level, has nothing to do with like the physical stuff. Obviously you can see physically, you need to be attractive, whatever. But what I'm looking for in terms of a partnership, like that's what I want to feel. And not only in partnership, in friendship, in relationship, and who I do business with, like I want to feel this deep connection because I don't want to live a life of struggle. I rebuke that shit. I don't want it. If we can't align and we're like this and it's just I don't want it. There's no point in it. I've learned through lessons and lessons that when it's like that, it's just misaligned. And you don't need to struggle through it. And there's nothing to necessarily work through. Sometimes it's just misaligned. So let it be that and let it, no hard feelings, no whatever, just let it go. Because what's for you will feel aligned. It won't feel like arguing or friction. It will just feel like it makes sense. And I've had so many friends come into my life like that and people come into my life like that, where we think and feel the same things. And I think the second that you decide anything that isn't that doesn't allow for full truth, full freedom to be 100% yourself and express yourself in whatever that is and have them get you, why would you want to do life with people like that? You can choose that you don't want to. You can choose that you don't want to. I guess why I'm sharing this all is because I'm going through my own process of going into my own energy, feeling what I'm really feeling, and embodying who Carly is 1000%. Not worrying about how it's perceived by someone else, what someone else thinks or feels, and really owning me. And what's a thought I have, a belief I have, and leaning into that 100% and trusting that I don't need to chase after anything. I don't need to search for anything. When I embody that fully, the right people, places, things are going to drop into my lap. And I trust that. And so I think what I want, I guess, to just end this podcast with for you guys is there was a season where so much of my energy was put into, as much as I don't want to admit it or I didn't feel like that's what it was worried about a partner. When am I going to meet someone? Who is it? Who is he? Where is he? I wonder what's going to happen with a relationship. No. The guy I was talking to occupied so much space and energy. And from me, it siphoned me. And I guess in the season that I'm in right now, I'm finding another person feels so uninteresting. I'm the most interesting part of my life right now is me. Who am I when I'm at 100% capacity and occupying my space and power with my own thoughts, being 100% my authentic self, not having any weight of these other attachments or energies connected to me. Who am I? That's fun to go into. So if you're listening to this, I guess I just want to leave you with, go on this journey of really understanding, who the hell are you? What do you think? What do you feel? What do you want to say? What do you feel that lights your soul on fire? What do you feel as a passion in your heart? What's important to you? Start going on that path to understand it. Release all the other things that are holding you back. And if you can't answer those questions yet, you probably have other stuff bogging you down. And so what I would say is, because I've been to over 10 plus awakens, I've been to so many. I have gone to plant medicine ceremonies. I've done deep work. I've done deep healing. I've done meditations. I've sat on the floor crying. I've basically had exorcisms come through my body. I don't even know what it is, but your body uncontrollably will move when you allow it and give it the space to move energy. Okay. Not a real exorcism, but kind of feels like that. Your body, weird shit happens. Anyway, I'm sharing this because after 10 plus awakens, there was no deep trauma that was processed. At my last mushroom ceremony, there was nothing I was going into that was deep and horrendous and trauma. If anything, it's just been providing gentle messages of clarity around me. And I'm sharing that because if you're still in it, the deep process, there's stuff you still need to release, lean into it. And eventually that ends. And there may be a season where I need to process something deep again, but I can say from my last few experiences, they've been quite gentle. My last awaken, I had to process vulnerability. That was great though. It was it was me stepping into another part of me, true courage of me. Who am I? That was a piece of me that I had to bring back and put these pieces together. And so I guess I'm just sharing, go through this journey with ease and give yourself grace. It's going to be hard sometimes, but just lean in. So when I say ease, I mean lean into it. When you feel like you need to process deep shit, process the deep shit. If you feel like you need to cry a lot, cry a lot. If you feel like you need to go to these things, go to them. And then eventually there comes a time where you just get to start being the embodiment of everything you've learned. And it becomes a practice of embodying everything you know to be true and leaning even deeper into you. And when you do that, it's just so beautiful what starts to unfold. And I guess my experiences this weekend, the people we ran into, the people we met, like we ended up going to this house party, we're hanging out with this NFL player, and it was just like high level people and understanding like I'm attracting high level people and I'm around high level people now because I'm a high level person. Does this make sense? And like me owning that. Because for so long I would feel weird to say that. I still was always so humble. And at a certain point, it's like, yes, I can still be humble. And yes, I've talked to a few of my friends about this, where it's like, yes, I can still be humble. Yes, I can still be, relate to where I came from, but that's not who I am now. And I think there's a piece of when we're trying to hold on to who we used to be, it doesn't allow us the space to become who we're meant to become. And in letting go of different connections and people in my life who were really still pulling me down, I literally did all these cord cuttings, all these things, released people from my life. And it's like, I can feel I'm like rising to meet who I've always been meant to meet, if that makes sense. And I don't mean just like out of relationship. Honestly, it's not even in my mind right now. I am not in a space where I can even think about that entering. Like I have too much to focus on for me. But yeah, I hope this makes sense. But just understanding like every level that you hit, every level of expansion, you're going to be called to let things go that no longer aligned. Let them go. Because if you're meant to you want to live a big, bold life. You want to do really cool shit. Eventually you'll meet the right people. And I think it's just trusting that and understanding too, like where you live, you might need to get out of where you live. And even though I'm not ready to move yet, like I know I want to finish the projects I have here. It was going to these other places where high level, high caliber people are. That's how you're going to meet them. I wasn't seeking it. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't like, where can we find the high level guys? Where can we find the NFL player? No, you're just being and embodying who you are, which is at a higher level than who you used to be. And eventually the universe will guide you to who you're meant to meet. And it's not about the NFL player or whoever, it's just about the fact that I know it's creating this sense of like, I guess you could say like safety in the nervous system to be around people like that. Because some of my girlfriends were talking there, she was like, whoa, I feel so small around powerful men. And I was like, interesting. That's something to go into. Versus me, it just made sense. I was like, these are the conversations I've been wanting to have. These are the people that I feel like I can learn something from. This is so interesting. Like I'm so interested in what they're doing and what they're creating and how they do business. Like I was so intrigued. And I don't know. I think I'm done from talking, and I hope that made sense. I feel like my points were kind of all over the place, but just lean into who you're becoming and trust that the right people are going to come across your path when they're meant to. There's nothing you need to do, nothing you need to try to do, nothing you need to force. Go into the work, become that person, and like say yes to the things that are pulling you that feel like a yes, and it will lead you exactly where you're meant to go. So, love you guys. Don't forget, virtual reality. Be mindful of it. See you in the next episode. Bye.